Well, hi there, everybody. This is Rocky Dhir coming to you from Texas Bar TV, State Bar Annual Meeting 2016 here in beautiful Fort Worth, Texas. I've got a dignitary here next to me today. So, I mean, we get to hear from one of the big guns. You're not just Darby Dickerson. You're Dean Darby Dickerson. So, for those that don't know, Dean Dickerson, Dean Darby, is the dean of the law school at Texas Tech Law School. So, you know, somebody who's right at the forefront of legal education. You know, I don't know if you've been reading the papers or not, but our industry's been having a little trouble lately.
Yes, it's been a challenge for a few years.
It has been. I'm assuming everything that the data says is the trend's been downward in terms of law school admissions.
Absolutely. The trend has been about a 40% drop over the last about 5 years.
Wow. So do you think we're permanently at this space, or, you know, is the law going to become cool again? I mean, what does this mean?
I hope so. You may not know this, but I'm on the executive committee of the Association of American Law Schools. And one thing that we're looking at is starting a project called Before the JD, because there's 40-year data out of UCLA that shows a pretty steady downturn and interest in people going to law school. So I don't think we're going to be permanently at this level. The matriculated student level is as low as it's been since the 1970s. But we're starting to see more employers need good lawyers, so the demand is picking back up, and I hope that will attract people back to law schools. But we as a profession really need to be aware of this. I think we need to be thinking about how to tell our story about the wonderful impact lawyers can have, the different things you can do with a law degree, and get that out to kids in elementary school and middle school, because once you get them in college, sometimes they've already made up their mind. They're too far into whatever they've decided to do.
Let's talk for a second then about maybe the teaching of law.
Yes.
You know, have the law schools had to adapt to a new environment? And if so, you know, what steps are law schools taking, and specifically what steps is Tech taking?
So we're based in Lubbock, and we have some of these placements in Lubbock, but the majority of our students come from the DFW Metroplex and want to come back here. A lot are from Austin or went to UT and want to go back there. Sure. So we have about 60 placements across the state where the students in their third year go to that city full time. They live there, they extern in a legal organization, and they can do legal aid, they can do government, and they can do in-house counsel. And they get integrated there. We run classes for them in the city. I actually personally do this with an adjunct, and we introduce them to topics important to the legal practice, bring in practicing attorneys. And then their class requirements include going to networking events. They have to meet with individual attorneys, and they have to do a community service project in the location. So they get integrated into their externship placement, into our alumni group, and into the greater legal profession and general community. So it is an amazing opportunity for them. So between the clinics and the externships, and we have some part-time externships too, probably about 50% of our students are getting an intensive hands-on experience during law school. And then I mentioned this to you when we were chatting before, but we just launched a public service graduation requirement. So our students have to give back and work with clients and lawyers all through. They have to start it in the first year. They can't wait to the last semester to do it. So we're doing a variety of things to allow students to understand the wide range of things attorneys can do and to get experience in those areas.
So these all sound like phenomenal initiatives. I'm gonna throw two curse words. I'm gonna throw them down on the table, and then I want you to give me your reaction, your thoughts to it. And those two curse words, folks, listen up. Student debt. What are we doing about that?
Student debt is a problem, and I think it's one of the reasons why people aren't coming to us. Sure. They look at the cost of attending law school, and they look at their opportunities, and many of them say it's not worth it. So law schools are doing a variety of things. I'm fortunate to be at a state school that has a reasonable, relatively speaking, tuition. Sure. And we try to educate students about the debt. We try to keep our own costs down. We try to make it possible for them to take the job they want, not the job they have to take to pay off their debt.
Let's kind of, bottom line, from your vantage point, legal industry, is our future looking strong? Is it are we still kind of in trouble, or have we kind of evened out? I mean, give us your prediction. The not necessarily the Dean Darby prediction, but just the Darby prediction on where we're going.
I'm an optimist. I would not be doing this if I did not believe in the profession and the future of the profession. I think we need law-trained people in many different sectors of our economy and many different types of jobs. So I feel like a lot of the traditional jobs are coming back, although forever changed in some ways. I mean, I think
Sure.
this has put us through the ringer and made us think about some things. But I see alums going into businesses. I see them going into government. I see them being incredibly innovative and thinking of services that different people need. I think that legal training is so good for so many areas. So I'm a believer, and I think that it's going to continue to increase in terms of who's coming, although more slowly. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a spike, but I think we're so important to what this country stands for, the rule of law, creative thinking, problem solving, that law schools are going to survive.
That's comforting to hear. And so I think there's a lot of us that have been wondering about that question for years. I appreciate your thoughts. I'm sure everybody out there appreciates hearing it from you. Dean Dickerson, Dean Darby Dickerson. She is the legend sitting here with me. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
And it's always great to see you. I know you're always out and about, within the state of Texas, trying to spread the word. And you're here in Fort Worth. You could have stayed in Lubbock, but you came out to Fort Worth to the annual meeting. We really appreciate it.
Always come to the annual meeting.
Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Rocky.
And we're going to see you next time here on Texas Bar TV at the annual meeting 2016. See you next time.